love yourself.
100%.
You need to put yourself on a pedestal. You need to be very clear about what makes you happy, how you can make somebody else happy. Because there are so many people that can make themselves happy, but are not in the right state or stage in their life where they're able to give that to somebody else. And if you are not able to do that, you should not be in a relationship.
Let's talk DXB. Real conversations by real people. So I have in the studio today the dating guru, the relationship expert, and I'm very excited to do this discussion with you. When I first started Let's Talk, everyone's like, you have to do a relationship topic, you have to do dating. I wasn't the best person to do this at all. So I was like, let me do my research. So I'm so grateful that you've come into the studio to do this conversation with me. So before I go into it, it's always about the person that's in the seat that's given me their time. So, and I always like to do some research. So I was looking at your profile and it seems like you started in education, if I've gotten that right.
I did.
So I always wondered, I was like, how did you start from education to now helping people find love and matchmaking? So that would be good to learn a bit more. And then how did you come to do it in Dubai?
Yeah, so Christiana Maxion, the Dubai matchmaker. Hey. I started my career as an athlete. I was a springboard diver.
Whoa.
Used to travel the world, dive. Didn't get paid for it because I was like in my teens, but I was recruited by university to dive there. I actually studied finance. I did an internship with Merrill Lynch, hated it, but in the back of my brain said, my husband will do finance, I'll be fine. So, but because of diving, I work with children a lot because of the coaching. I would coach summertime and I absolutely loved it.
Right.
So my parents kind of like nudged me a bit and said, well, you love to work with children. Why don't you get your master's in education?
Amazing.
So I did. I think I have like 3 distinctions.
Whoa.
In my master's in education. And I did first grade. I did kindergarten in the South Bronx in New York.
Right. Oh, wow.
Ended up moving here in 2016 to the UAE. Okay. Started as a KG1 teacher. Yep. I love being a teacher. I thought it was so much fun. Yeah. And like kids are seriously, especially at that age, like 3-4 years old, they're just so pure. Yeah. And they're very much a blank slate.
Yes. I have a 3-year-old son, 3.5-year-old. So when I watch him, it's magical actually.
It is. Yeah. And I think that the best part about being a teacher for those children at that age is like some people who do take the profession seriously, like it's such a critical age and you can make or break. Like they are little souls and you need to remember that as an educator. But what I saw for myself was that I kind of like expanded that. I wanted to expand like the positive kind of outreach. So then I became a teacher trainer across the UAE, which then led to me becoming a published author. I was actually a leader in a school. Amazing. And the way that it all started when it came down to matchmaking is I had an Instagram account called Dating in Dubai. Where I was documenting my experience dating here in this wonderful, beautiful city. And I absolutely love dating here. I think it's the best place to date in the entire world. You can date the entire map. You can figure out what you actually like. You meet so many different types of people from all walks of life. And if you go into something with a positive kind of just outlook, you're always going to come away with a win.
You're attractive. I agree with that.
You always come away with a win. And we can talk about like how to make every first date a win.
Yes, please.
But anyway, with that being said, the Instagram account actually proved to me that people hated dating in Dubai.
Right. Okay, we're going to get into this.
Yeah. And I've always been a solution seeker. Yeah. So I said, I am going to solve dating in Dubai.
Amazing.
And that's when I opened up my matchmaking agency.
It's fantastic because also I think if you've got the skill to educate as well, because you're just bringing that into the environment of relationships and love. So already you had the foundation of that talent. So it's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love love. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. I love love, even through my story. So obviously we've only just met today. Okay. So I was married in a relationship for 10, 11 years here with my ex-husband and then I filed for divorce. There is an episode, Divorce in Dubai. So obviously for me, I'm coming in new. Like my last date
You've never
was...
dated in the 2020s.
No.
Exactly.
Like,
we will talk about that.
We will talk about it.
Help you 1,000%.
Because I'm very old school. So obviously when I met my ex-husband, we met at an event and mutual friends and, you know, attracted to each other. Conversation was great. Purpose was great. Fell in love, had kids, etc. But nothing like what I call now new age dating, which I'm hearing a lot about how it's changed to the times when I was dating, right?
But what I will say, a positive spin on this is that you are in a part of the world where most men here do have traditional values.
Interesting.
Which I think is positive.
Yeah.
Versus maybe like I'm from New York.
Okay.
So where it's like I don't know, it feels way different. Like people don't take each other out on dinner dates anymore back there.
Right. Okay.
Where here it's very much, I mean, in my experience, the norm.
Yeah, so this is what I wanted to get into actually, because
let's
obviously I hear a lot from female friends around, and unfortunately it's not the most positive stories about dating. And I think it depends on what you desire as well.
It depends also on your standards and what you expect. And being like, we can talk about it, but like I am super selective in who I choose to spend my time with. So and if I believe that you are a time waster, you will not get any of my time.
So what is your selection process? Because I think obviously you're making the right choices to get the right types of dates. So how would you identify that this is someone that I will spend my time with and matches my values and we can have a great conversation?
You know that I'm not on any dating apps.
Ah, okay.
Zero. I mean, be on Maxion when it comes out, launching in 2 weeks.
We're going to talk about that for sure.
But no, I am, because I am running and I'm spinning, I feel like 1,000 plates at once. I meet a lot of people I like to say in the wild, right? Like in the real world.
In the real world.
And for me, that has been a great kind of filter system where I already know if we have some kind of connection or some kind of energy match because I've already met them in person. So it's not kind of like you're hiding behind a phone screen and like this false kind of like, because anybody could be anybody behind a message.
Correct. Yeah.
Anybody could be anybody behind a picture from 10 years ago. Yes. LOL. But what I will say is that when you meet somebody in person, you kind of know right away if the conversation is going to be good, if you have things in common, you then, like you want to laugh. Like there has to be something in the air, the planets or something. Yeah. I have 4 dates this week.
Really?
Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay, let's step back. How these dates form then?
For me, where people contact me, this is really funny, but like sometimes people contact me on Instagram. Sometimes people contact me on LinkedIn.
But this is it now, isn't it? Yeah.
But I go to events as well, like industry events, like whether like that's tech, finance. I get invited to like a lot of places. But I always say that if you are a woman who, let's say, wants to date somebody in tech, go to tech events. Yeah,
because that's where you're going to meet.
And also, you're probably one of 10 women and there's 100 guys.
Yeah, correct.
Same thing with legal.
Yes,
right?
yeah,
get invited to law events. Same thing with finance. Yes. Get invited to those events. Yeah. Like just make a friend with somebody who will invite you. And they're always looking for good looking, smart girls to go. Yeah, so you're always going to get a ticket in.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of people don't think like that. Obviously, a lot of people,
they're going to bars, they're going to brunches, being drunk, making bad decisions.
It's where you choose. And also what you're interested in, right? Like for me, I'm not dating at the moment because one thing about me as well, I very much like my own company. Even when I was married, I love taking myself out on dates. I love going to the cinema. I love sitting somewhere and reading. So I'm very much absorbing that energy at the moment, enjoying my single season.
You should be.
Which is so important. Because
you're dating yourself.
You're
not single, you're dating yourself.
That's the right way to look at it.
Which is super important.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think if I'm willing to kind of go into dating again, I know I'm bringing... I will. I'm being positive. I'm bringing the best of me because what I'm expecting is the best of that person.
1,000%.
And I want to be able to match that. I need to bring something. I've got a list, but if I don't meet my own criteria, then it doesn't make sense.
I always say that.
Yeah, I think it's so important.
That you can have this long list and no physical trait should be on that list.
Correct. Yeah.
It should be qualities. It should be values, even alignment, right? Like what are your goals?
Yes.
But instead of having that list for somebody else or your future partner, that should be a list for yourself.
Yes, exactly. So if you can't meet yourself with that list, then you can't require that of someone else. I think it's not fair. Yeah, I'm with that as well.
It's not fair. There will be an imbalance in the relationship. Something will always be missing.
Yes, yeah, correct. Yeah. So knowing that online dating is here to stay, clearly, obviously it's a time that I'm not familiar with, but I think it's so hard. Like, how do you identify red flags online? Like you said, anyone can write anything, they can post any great picture, but if you're having conversations and it is through the app, like how do you filter to know if that person is decent? Really?
Yeah. There are so many things to do in person in Dubai.
Okay.
It's a whole filtering system.
Okay.
And you're talking about dating yourself, right?
Yeah.
I always tell people, do a hobby, meet a hottie.
Ah.
I mean, like, I say join a running club.
Right, got it.
Go to boxing classes. Go to mixed group things.
Good point.
That you enjoy, because don't go like with the expectation that you're going to meet your partner.
Yeah.
Go with the expectation that you're elevating yourself.
Yeah.
You're doing something that you either enjoy or you want a skill to improve
Correct.
in.
Yep.
And when you go with that mindset, you're going, no matter what, you're going to win because you're leveling yourself up. Amazing bonus cherry on the top if you're attracted to somebody.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. And I think that's another thing because, you know, some friends that I have, they're literally, and I get it, like they're in a season where they want to build with someone, they want to get married. And I think that becomes all consuming for some women because that's all they think about. If they're getting dressed up, it's, I want to go meet my husband tonight. Just going out for me. Yeah. I think it also...
How can you say that? Because I'm like, meaning in the sense of, it only takes one.
Yeah.
And if you're putting all of these expectations on somebody else or something that you cannot control, you're always going to be let down.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's when dating becomes a bit more like depressive or a job, or you don't enjoy it because it's the expectation is I need to meet that person.
And also, you know what ends up happening is that you're putting a very high expectation on somebody else.
Yeah.
You have no control of that.
True.
And instead, what you should be doing, and I've said this before, is date like you're the CEO of your dating life.
Interesting.
Only spend time with people that are deserving of your time.
I
worthy of your time.
I think that's so important.
And anybody who's time wasting, let's say like somebody is on a mission. Okay, I'm going to find my partner this year.
Yeah.
Guess what? It will be a job, but in the sense of don't let anybody waste your time. Don't always assess it from your point of view. Will this person be a great partner for me?
Yeah.
Rather than, did they like me?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Are they going to call me? No, you need to think about yourself. Okay. He did ABC. Yeah. Do I like that? Will that lead to DEF? I'm not sure. And then think about that. Do I like that person? Rather than, oh my gosh, does he like me? Does she like me?
Yes.
If you're dating from like that scarcity mindset, you're not going to attract your ideal partner.
It's true, actually. And probably just attract someone that's probably not for you.
Desperate.
It's out of just, basically. Yeah, it's more out of desperation. That's really good advice. And then dating. So if someone is dating, what are the dating no-nos? What are things that people need to think about? What makes a good date? You have 4 of them and you're an expert in this field. So what does a good date look like for you?
I can say things that I hear a lot of people go through.
Yeah.
I think that women need to remember that you have all the power.
Oh, yeah, because we do not remember that.
Have all of the power.
Right.
And do not relinquish your power so easily or give it to somebody who is not deserving of
100%.
it. Do not give boyfriend privileges to a man you're just dating. Do not give husband privileges to a boyfriend.
Yeah. And I think also because then it shows consistency. How much does that man and woman, like how much do they really value me and want this relationship to go somewhere? Or is it just fun for them?
Correct.
Or it's just physical and once they have what they want from that, they disappear?
But if your goal is physical, then make that your goal,
then make it clear, right.
But you need to be clear with yourself.
Yeah.
Honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And have your, not expectations, standards. Have your own standards. For what you expect in a partner and don't waver. Why would
Yeah.
you? If you're unclear with yourself, then you're sending an unclear message to God, angels, universe, and then you're never going to get what you want.
It's being really disciplined in it as well. Like, I think
sexiest quality, discipline.
Well, yeah, I think so as well, because you know what you want to attract, and and you're quite easy to walk away to someone that doesn't match that as well. Like, you won't waste your time.
And guess what? A man can smell that.
Yes.
If you're just like, no, not for me.
So again, a majority of my girlfriends are like, I'm a decent woman, very educated, ready to settle down, but there's not enough men in Dubai that want to settle down.
So many.
There are?
Yeah.
Where do you find them? Not on the apps then, maybe?
On Maxion.
Well, on Maxion. Yeah, I'll say maybe not on the other apps, but on Maxion.
The thing is, though, can I please say that it only takes one. It's a numbers game, dating. And if you don't have thick skin, then maybe you shouldn't be dating.
That's a good point.
Right? If you're going to be like, oh my gosh, if you're going to think everybody you go on a date with is going to be the one, it's not going to happen, period.
Yeah.
I always say that you need to date like a duck.
Right. Okay. What does that look like?
Everything is water off your back.
Right.
Have your very high standards, but low expectation.
Right. That's good advice.
When you date like that, then you are more likely to find success. And I always say when you go on a first date with somebody, right? You want to find success in every date.
Yep.
There's a few things that I do.
Okay.
Let's say you're ready to date yourself, right? Create a dating wish list.
Oh, okay.
And your dating wish list are places you want to go.
Okay.
Things you want to do. Done, right? I don't know. Maybe you want to go zip lining off in the marina. Who knows what you want to do, right?
I wish I was that brave.
So then if a guy asks you, hey, what do you want to do? I mean, I like it when a guy takes charge, but I also do like when they ask for feedback.
Yes, yeah.
Guess what? You have your dating wish list in your phone and you can check off some place you want to do. Ooh, I haven't been to XYZ. Let's go there. So then guess what? You're gaining an experience. So even if the date is meh, I got to try that new restaurant.
Yes.
Oh my God, I got to do zip lining.
Yes.
That's amazing, right? That's number one. Number two, when you get on the date, find out what the other person is an expert in.
Okay. And how would you find that out? Like, how would you decipher that?
You can just ask.
Just ask the questions.
Yeah. What do you know the most about? What do you really like to do? What's your hidden talent?
Yes.
What's something people don't know about you? And they can be like, oh my gosh, well, people don't know that I'm a cheese connoisseur. Oh my God, tell me all about cheese.
Right.
Why?
Okay.
Why this? Why that? Ask questions.
Yep.
Firstly, you're going to learn something new. So even if he's not your husband, she's not your wife, you learn something new.
True.
You gain more knowledge on something.
Yep.
Secondly, it makes the other person feel comfortable and shine.
Yes. Yeah.
Meeting somebody for the first time on a one-to-one setting can be very daunting for some people.
Yeah.
Right? Not everybody is extremely extroverted or can carry a conversation.
Yeah.
So it's important for that other person too to feel comfortable.
Good point.
You know,
Yes.
and if they're really comfortable in speaking about cars, let them.
speak.
And then if it's something you also know about, great, you have a connection.
Yeah.
If it's something you learn or you're learning something new, that's great. You just won the date.
Yes. Yeah.
You won.
Yeah.
You went to a place you wanted to go to and you learned something new. How could you not win in that scenario?
And I love that mindset because there's no pressure around it. You know, there's not like, oh gosh, it needs to go here. Like people are like pre-planning their weddings with like first dates.
Gosh.
It just destroys everything. Yeah, because like your expectations are so high, and then the come down when the person is not what you want it to be, or the person ghosts you, that heartache can be really painful as well. So then you're just constantly doing that.
It's also a numbers game. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, I keep on hearing this.
Oh,
yeah.
I see so many girls hop from relationship to relationship, and that just tells me, it just screams insecurity.
Right.
And it's just like, you can't be on your own.
Oh.
Like, I love that you're dating yourself.
Oh, yeah. I think one thing for me though, I love it. I think the advice people are giving me is like, I love dating myself, and I don't think it's a bad thing at all because I'm very comfortable in my own space.
That's very
good.
But
equally, don't get too used to that because I'm like, I'm good, I'm fine. My son keeps me busy. I've got work. I'm doing Let's Talk. But also, I believe we're built for relationships and I wouldn't have gotten married otherwise. But I'm in a season where I'm like, I'm liking me too much, but it can't last for too long, I think.
I think though that you're probably resetting as well.
Yeah,
you're going through a different phase, and it's nice to be on your own and to kind of like recalibrate.
That's a good point.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Recalibrate. But I'm also going to tell you that when you are dating yourself, you're going to attract so many men because they're going to be like, ooh, she values her own time.
Oh,
she puts herself on a pedestal. Right. Ooh, that's sexy.
And I'm not seeking attention from, okay.
You're not, you don't reek of desperation.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I need to be careful then.
Well, no, it's funny, right? And I also think that that's why, like, I do, like, even before, like, I was saying no to, like, dates.
Yes.
Like, I get asked out all the time.
I can imagine, yes.
But, like, I'm like I said, I'm very selective.
I saw recently you did a post about where you should not go on first dates. And I was crying with laughter.
Yes.
That
Share
list.
With all your friends.
Oh,
please
my goodness.
Tell everybody say no because they are lowering the standards for all women.
I love it. So if we do the top 5 places, because there were quite a few.
Yes.
Some were very obvious, like no, like the person's house. Yeah.
Do you know how many people fall for that? And
really?
It's insane to me. I'm like, you are setting yourself up for failure.
If you're going, you know what that, like, whoa.
Come on. I mean, you can't be that naive.
Yeah.
And if you are, then you're not cut out for Dubai. No, you're not cut out for Dubai. You need to move somewhere else. I think that there are no hard rules to this as well. It really is about that connection you have with somebody. Know. Like, gosh, I've been in relationships where after the first date, he was like, you're my woman. Done.
Really?
Like, we are together.
Wow.
Yeah, and I felt it too.
That.
It was
okay,
mutual.
Yeah, it wasn't like, okay, got it.
It obviously was mutual.
Yes.
And like also when you're like, I hate to say like on the scene, but like when you are dating multiple people and like you do have a great attraction to somebody, not just physically, but emotionally, intellectually.
Yep.
It's nice to have that like kind of like dive head first. It is. It's fun. Like you jump and
you're not wasting time. We're not playing games here. You like me, I like you. We're both serious. We're on a level. Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
And also like the quicker you get into it, the quicker you find out whether or not that's the person for you.
That's a good point. You're not wasting time to figure that out. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that though it needs to be like a mutual thing.
Yes.
Like, and there is no, you do step 1, step 2, step 3, you get ABC. That's not how this life works.
Right. True.
So I think that in order to be really in tune with your own intuition and your higher self making very good decisions, you need to love yourself.
100%.
You need to put yourself on a pedestal. You need to be very clear about what makes you happy, how you can make somebody else happy. Because there are so many people that can make themselves happy, but are not in the right state or stage in their life where they're able to give that to somebody else. And if you are not able to do that, you should not be in a relationship.
That's a really good point.
It's very selfish.
Yeah, it is very selfish.
To the other person.
Yeah, because and also you just take from that person, and it's exhausting for that individual as well.
All parties involved.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Because then it's draining to the friend group.
Correct. Yeah.
Even the cat, the dog, they
You're
feel
right.
it.
Everyone's like, oh, just break up.
Break up. You're so annoying. I don't want to hear this other story about this dude. Like, come on.
It's a good point, but I feel like there's a lot of evaluation needed. Like if you want to be intentional about dating.
Yes. Must be a reflective person.
Yeah, for sure.
You must. And like, I love journaling.
Yes.
I think that journaling has been an excellent tool for success for me in business and personal. And I use it a lot to not only like kind of like spark my own intuition, but maybe like ask for guidance because I do believe in God, angels, universe, and being able to have those reflective practices and
it's powerful.
Evaluate all relationships, not just romantic, friendship, business. Very, very important.
Yeah, I think that's so true. I mean, definitely for me, obviously going through divorce, and I filed for divorce and I was married for a long time. But in that process, yes, it was quite clear his wrongdoing in that, which led me to file. But in that as well, I also took a step back and I had to check myself about how did I allow this in my marriage? How did I suppress this in my marriage? How did I get here? So I'm really unraveling all of that to be able to do better, because I think I'm not going to go and date. And remember when I first got divorced, I was like, go out, have fun, date. I was like, what, to sit at a table and then cry in front of a guy because I'm still healing? It's the worst thing. That poor person.
Don't dump it on somebody else.
Or make it my therapist as I'm eating my steak. I was like, that is the worst thing to do. Like, I just wouldn't do that to another person. At least you were aware. No, I could not. But it's interesting how people are like, no, go and seek that attention quickly because, that's what you should be doing. I was like, no, I'm just going to date myself. And
everybody
just work on
copes
me.
differently.
True.
And it's really important to not force how you cope or reflect or whatever on other people.
Yep.
But it is great to like, this is what worked for me.
Yeah.
Maybe this will work for you.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that you're taking time for yourself.
Yeah.
Especially because you have a family. You have a son.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's
You're
priority
I have
as
enough
well.
on my plate right now.
Hello.
Let me chill for a second.
My time is so split as well. Yeah.
Exactly.
And also I'm mindful of like, if I was dating intentionally, letting that, I'm very protective of my space anyway. I've always been like that, quite private.
Everybody should.
And then I have like this gorgeous 3.5-year-old boy. And I'm like, if I date, that person can't meet him until he's 15. Like I'd have to be really, really, really comfortable to allow you into such a precious gift that I have. So for me, it's a whole different ball game as well. It's not just like dating for fun because I don't have time to waste on things like that. And I've got other priorities, and it's dating for purpose.
Yep.
Like for me, I'm very much, I've worked on myself and I've identified my purpose. And I'd like that person to also know, like, what are we waking up for in the morning? What are we working towards? Like, there's just so many different layers. So yeah, it's quite different, the things that I look for. But
you'd be perfect for Maxion.
Oh, okay. We'll talk off camera.
When you're ready.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And then what about heartbreak? Because dating can be hard, right? I think if people, the advice you're giving is actually probably the best because people are going into it with the right type of mindset. But there's so many, like, I don't know about men, but like women, I can only do experiences from what I'm hearing from my girlfriends. It's hard. They're tired.
Men go through it too. I think that there is maybe that male voice isn't being spoken about too much.
Yeah, okay.
I hear it a lot as a matchmaker for men.
Yes.
So I hear it a lot. And I think that, I don't know if it's, like I think about myself growing up in New York, right?
Yeah.
And you always think that like men are the ones who make the decisions.
Correct. Yep.
They're the ones who run the relationship and that they're less emotional than women. I think that it comes out differently in.
Right. Interesting. So what do you see? That's a good perspective because obviously for me, a lot of it is female stories or feedback. I've got a very small circle of like male friends. And obviously I was married for like 11 years. So that circle was different.
Exactly.
But actually from a male's perspective, like men actually intentionally wanting to find love, dealing with heartbreak. Connection.
1000%.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
We're all humans.
Yeah, that's true.
We've kind of, I think some women demonize the other sex.
Yeah, and that's another thing that energy is definitely out there. I did a podcast, it's called Men in Dubai, but very two intentional, level-headed, balanced men talking about their goal is to support, kind of bridge the gap, and they work a lot with men about mental health and emotions and actually expressing that. But I think, the narrative is a lot of the time that, all men are this and they do really bad things and they're not ready to set all the negative energy that goes out. But I think a lot of it is from traumatized women, maybe, I'm assuming, that have had really bad dates or marriages or experiences.
Don't feed into the narrative.
No?
I think that like people need to, I feel like what happens nowadays in 2023 is you listen to a podcast and that becomes your personality and your perspective on all of life.
That's true.
It's like, hey, back up. Yeah. Think about your immediate group of friends, fathers, brothers, friends, cousins. They're real people. They're humans too.
Yeah.
Sometimes the opposite sex does get demonized. And I think that, listen, there's demons on both sides. Let's be honest. 100%, right?
Yes.
And I see it both ways. I think that remember that we're human.
Yeah.
Come at it from the perspective of humanizing the other person, not demonizing.
It's very good.
And we all have feelings to kind of refer back to.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's true actually. And I think that's the essence of it. Most of the time it's just breakdown in communication. Like men express differently, women do. And it just gets muddled up and it then turns into like some drama that maybe doesn't need to be there.
Or it's non-existent.
Yes. Yeah.
Something that you've created in your own brain because you didn't have the bravery or the balls to be like, hey, let's chat. Yeah. Or you're jumping to conclusions about something that isn't even happening.
Very true.
Like I think about what I hear from women sometimes and they're like, Like, have you ever seen those memes where like, oh, I bet he's thinking about other women and he's like thinking like, oh my gosh, can you put milk in an apple and then it tastes like, like they're
completely different. Yeah.
Men's brains are very simple and they can only focus on like one thing at a time. So I also hear a lot of, oh, he doesn't have time for me. He's so busy in the day.
A lot. Yeah.
And I say, well, think about it this way. If you're working, I mean, for me personally, I want a man who has achieved, who's successful in a career. He shouldn't be talking to me all day.
Busy.
He should not have the time to message me all day long, because I certainly don't.
Yep, you're right. Yes.
I certainly don't. So if you're so bogged down about that, maybe you need to create more hobbies for yourself.
Yeah, or maybe
more
it's more
purpose.
Your self-esteem. Like you need that kind of reassurance, constant validation. Yeah. But I think again, it depends on the type of person you're dating, and if you have a man
who you are as a person.
I think that's the core, isn't it? Because I think that helps. Yeah, with so much.
There's a book. Oh my God.
Oh, tell me. I'm into reading. I buy like a book a week now. Attached. Okay.
Yeah. It's all about attachment theory.
Ah, okay.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And I used to be insecure.
Okay.
But I think that's just like you're young, right? Yeah. You're young.
Figuring yourself out.
You're just a little girl. And, but I fancy myself to be a very secure person. You can always move out of like being insecure. What's the other one? Avoidance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And kind of train yourself to be secure, but that comes with a lot of like self-work.
You have to do the work, right?
Yeah. And I also experience.
Yeah,
too.
that's true.
Reflection on, okay, what kind of a partner do you want?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
and what
a good
kind
point.
of a partner can you be?
Yeah.
Which I think is very important as well, because I think sometimes what people do is they put all the onus on the other person.
Correct. Yeah.
Instead of being fulfilled as a whole person themselves.
Yep.
And then again, that's that expectation that, and nobody else can make you happy. I mean, I think that this is quite controversial, but I always say like, you can choose happiness.
That's true.
outside of things that are going on in the world, things that, everything that's going on right now in the Middle East, like outside of that and those extreme cases, for the most part in normal environments, you can choose to be stressed or not stressed.
Yeah, that's
true.
You
can choose to be happy or unhappy.
You have a choice. I feel like that's so important. Choose happiness. Yeah.
Choose ease. Choose less stress. Makes your life easier.
And take control of it. Like if you go on a date, men and women, and you find like this guy is just not the one, or you're having to chase, or, even men, if you're having to chase this woman, then bye. Like why waste your energy?
Men like the chase. They do.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually,
you need to let them hunt.
Oh, okay. So that's
it's part of their nature.
Well, women then that are constantly trying to kind of make that man give attention. But that's your self-worth, your self-esteem, your confidence. You can do that. Yeah. That's why you've done the work on yourself, which is
Everybody
fantastic.
needs to get to that level, men and women.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's very true. So tell me more about your business. Like, how does it work? Like, what's happening with it? Because it sounds like such a great concept.
So I love matchmaking, and I think it's the best thing in the world. So the agency, we matchmake high net worth, ultra high net worth men, not only here, but globally.
Oh, so purely men.
Yeah. So women join the database for free.
Got it.
Men are the ones who pay.
I love this.
The great success and demand of that business has led to the launch of my app.
Got it. Okay.
Because that business is very high touch, personalized. We only take on a certain number of clients per quarter.
Okay.
And I was seeing so much like the connection that I was creating. And I had a client, a success story.
Yeah.
He said to me, he's like, you need to bottle what you do. He's like, it's magic.
Fantastic.
He's like, but you can't do it for so many people.
No. Yep.
So we've digitized those services now.
Love it.
And we're launching in Dubai. And what it'll be is like a vetted, verified community of people.
Right. Okay.
Who are of a certain caliber.
Yeah.
And we take you through the whole process.
You hold their hands through that journey.
We send you compatible profiles.
But that's,
They're not swiping.
Yeah, exactly.
It is about, let's say you connect with somebody. It's a yes on both sides. We plan, book, confirm that date.
Wow.
You guys go. You give us feedback. Internal feedback feeds into our compatibility engine.
Love it.
External feedback goes to the other person. We can plan the next ones. But the greatest part about the app that I think is amazing are the in-person events.
Yeah. Got it.
Because not everybody thrives on a one-to-one setting.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
And also, not everybody has time to sit down one-to-one with somebody.
Yeah.
What if I want to maximize my chances of meeting not only a romantic partner, but friends?
Friends, yeah.
And then doing that whole filtering process, right? Of seeing, is there any energy between us in person?
So good.
Like,
yeah.
I laugh because I look at my past history of men I've been attracted to in relationships with, and none of them look the same. None of them speak the same. Like, you would never peg that person and be like, that is Christiana's type. No, you would never.
Right.
For me personally, it's all about the energy between you and that person.
Correct. Yeah. Because a lot of women and men probably, you have to have some attraction, whether it's like intelligence or the energy or he just makes you laugh or he's whatever it may be. But we get this very superficial. So many women want the 6 foot plus guy.
You're not getting it.
Why is that then?
Statistics.
Oh,
okay. Let's talk about stats.
Yeah, let's break it down.
I have a matchmaking team. So we're a team of 7.
Yep.
We run the globe. But anyway, one of our matchmakers, Laura, she's hilarious.
Okay.
She's based in Florida.
Yep.
And she put up this stat the other day. It was less than 1% or like 1.6%. I can't remember. But it was like above 6 foot. Single, makes over $300,000 a year, and white.
Okay.
And in America, the stats, I think it had to have been globally because white was in there. Yeah. Less than 1% of the whole population. 1%. So y'all are chasing unicorns.
There's not a whole heap of them there.
And what I must say is that tall doesn't pay the bills. Tall doesn't take care of you when you're sick.
Thank you.
Paul doesn't have an intellectual conversation with you.
Yep.
Like, Paul has nothing to do with it. Like, I get so many women who join the database and they put, my ideal match has to be 6 foot and above. And you know what I do with those profiles? I put them in a bucket of fantasy. You know what you should be focused on? How that person treats you.
Yes.
How that person makes you feel. Do you have similar alignment in goals and values? Because that's what you should be focused on with a partner that you plan to build with. Unless you're just looking to live a lifestyle, that's different. Yeah. But if you're looking to build a life with somebody, those are the things that you should be focused on.
I'm so glad you said this because as well, when I say it, I feel like I'm just like too traditional or too old school. But for me, purpose is so important, and faith. Like, I'm a Christian and I'm trying to build my faith and my relationship with God. So for me, something like that. It looks different
for everybody.
It looks different for everybody.
So remember that don't go by a textbook.
Yeah, true.
Think about your personal relationship with God, because I have a relationship with God as well.
That's a good point, actually.
And it doesn't look like what it normally looks like. I don't think that that's for anybody to judge.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
What's your personal relationship with him?
Yeah, that's a good point. But like the tick list for me is very different. Yeah, there needs to be some attraction, but it might not necessarily be because you're taller than me or you have muscles, but I need to know that you're a hard worker, that you have purpose, that you're kind, that you've got a giving spirit. Not because I want to take your money. I can look after myself.
No. But generous is so different.
So important. Yeah.
Because when I talk about generosity, right, I think that people might take that as face value and think, oh, he's going to give you gifts. Well, actually, gifts are my top love language. So, but what I will say is that generosity comes in so many different forms.
Ways, yeah.
Like, I think about somebody who's generous with their time. Generous with their care.
Very true.
Just generous in terms of they're not always thinking about themselves.
Yes, not
There's
selfish.
Thought that's put into things, whether that's events, like just how to make the other person feel.
Yeah. Good. And it's good that you're looking at it different ways, because most people, when you hear that, they're like, oh, you just want the man to like take you out on dates all the time and spend their money on you. But there's so many different ways to it. Yeah.
That's one way to show it, sure.
Yes.
It is. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that person is generous with their time.
That's true.
Or care or love.
Yeah. Which is a foundation, really, of what we're looking for.
I look for selflessness.
It's so important.
In so many ways.
So when is the app dropping? When are you starting all of this?
November.
Soon? Oh, this month.
Literally, and our launch party will be 4th of December.
Oh, wow. Well, congratulations in advance. You're
Thank
busy
you so
and
much.
you came to speak to me. I'm so grateful.
No, I'm grateful to you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
For sure.
I think you've given so many gems and like
Good.
substance. You know, we hear about dating in Dubai and it's all like, yeah, well, we have to go to the Burj Khalifa. It's just very superficial. But I think it's looking at the core of what this actually means. Yeah.
But if that's on your dating wish list, do it.
I think it is on the list, do it. But the list has to have other things to it as well. I think that's the thing, right?
Do you know what a lot of guys say to me?
What do they say?
They get like major turn off when the girl demands to go to like somewhere like really fancy on a first date.
Really?
It's interesting, right? Because listen, I hear both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
So for me, I just think like be you. If that is your authentic self,
Yeah.
truly want to go to what you just said, Burj Khalifa on your first date because you love it there. It's such a great place. It makes you feel cozy, makes you feel sexy. Do it.
Right.
If it's just something for the gram to show, that's not being authentic.
No, exactly. And you're wasting that person's time as well because like they're taking time out. Yeah.
Yep.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think it depends on personality. For me, it's good conversation. So that can be had anywhere. I'm not saying I want to go to like an Irish pub and have this good conversation, but I think a place where I can have good conversation.
Also, though, you were talking about the place I said say no to on a date, right?
Yeah.
I would love to add other restaurants to the list, but I don't want to say it on air.
Yeah.
But I will say that any place where you go and the music is so loud you cannot speak.
What's the point?
That is wrong.
Yeah.
Don't go.
Correct. Yeah.
Like, so then you're really not going to get to know the person.
Correct.
You're going for maybe the scene of it all.
Yeah.
And that's major deal breaker for me.
I think that's right because it is about let's chat and let's kind of learn about each other.
Let's see if we have a connection.
Yes.
Afterwards, are we still curious about one another?
Yep.
Ooh, can I please make a very bold statement on here?
Say it. This is what Let's Talk is about.
Stop saying no after the first date.
Okay. Why do you say that? Because that happens a lot.
Always go on the second date.
What makes you say?
Unless this person was a jack.
Right.
Unless this person was completely rude to you, to the servers, all of that. If it was just like, I'm not sure, go on the second date.
So then
women are saying no way too quickly. Did you know that women are way pickier than men?
Really?
1000%.
I did not think that would be the case.
Yes, I work with men.
So
I work with women, meaning on the opposite side, like them as members. Women are 1000% more picky than men. Women say no far more often than men do.
Right. I'm shocked.
And it's crazy because you hear, like the stereotype is that women say, oh, there are no good men. You're saying no to all the good men. And you know what? That pisses me off because I know that my clients are amazing
good men. Yes.
They're the actual good men who are investing in trying to find a real relationship. And the amount of women that say no after a first date blows my mind. I'm like, so then what are you looking for?
Yeah.
Are you really looking for a genuine, authentic person who wants to build a life with you?
Yes.
Like, I think that people are always searching for this elusive spark.
Fairy tale spark.
And let me tell you, the spark is a form of anxiety.
Okay.
It's a form of anxiety, being anxious. Is this person going to call me? Are they not? Oh my God. Looking at your phone every 10 seconds. That's not comfortable.
That's not comfortable. Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
Somebody that you can have a conversation with, you feel comfortable with, you feel safe with, has been labeled as boring.
That's
and
so
I
true.
Hate that.
I hate that. Like, I hate that. Oh, they're not exciting enough. It's like you have to have this like bad drama around you for it to be like, I don't have time for drama. Like, it's the worst energy, I think, to see.
Nope. And so many people are giving up on throwing away really great opportunities because they have this crazy weird thought in their brain that it needs to be fireworks. It needs to be, I want to rip this person's clothes off. The spark fades quickly.
And life happens. Where's the substance?
Invest in slow burns.
Ooh,
invest in the slow burn. I love it. Like I have so many guy friends, right? Form a relationship with somebody.
It's true.
That doesn't mean like, oh, we're going to hop into whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Form a foundation.
Yeah. Yep.
Conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Laughs.
Yes.
Getting to know somebody.
Yeah.
Stop saying no after the first date.
I think that's so important.
Go. Because also think about it this way. If you're meeting somebody cold turkey for the first time, not everybody feels comfortable in that setting.
Yep. It's so
it's
true.
It's hard for some people to open up
Yep.
and to be themselves.
So true.
Give it another chance.
Yeah, and get to really see them in different settings. In different settings, different environments. That will help you to know.
Sober light of day. Yeah. Very important.
Oh, there's too many gems in this conversation. You're helping a lot of women and men because like you said, you interact with a lot of men. So I think it's interesting, the perception of there are no men that want to settle. There are no good men. We hear that a lot. Or yes, there can be nightmare dates. And yes, you can get men that maybe have not been transparent. You know, for me, I'm like always, even I said this like to my ex-husband, I was like, if I know what I'm dealing with, it's my choice. If I know you just want to have fun and I want to have fun, great. If you don't want to have fun, exactly. Or you want to be serious and I'm not ready to be serious, then at least I know. But I feel like that transparency isn't always there. So maybe that's where a lot of the hurt comes from. And I think
that maybe some people aren't transparent because they're scared that they're going to lose you. Oh. When I think like, for example, if you give that example, right? Let's say you're a person that isn't looking for any type of commitment.
Yes.
But they still want to get to know you.
Right.
And maybe they still want to take it to the next step.
Got it.
But they will hide that. So that's somebody who's being deceitful.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
But I think that if you have like your head on your shoulders and you don't give it up,
yes,
you can easily weed out the time wasters.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
It's easier. Yeah, but I think it comes with self-confidence and not just being desperate to have someone.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I think though too, right, is like that whole options thing that I was speaking about earlier. Like you put all your eggs in one basket and it's like you're holding on to the hope of it all, to the hope, you're going to fall.
Yeah, and that fall will be painful. Important. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So keep your, hey, this person doesn't want to commit. No problem. I can see Henry, Harry, whoever is ready
out
for
there.
it.
I think that's the thing, knowing they are out there.
And keep your eyes open. I think that sometimes we go into like tunnel vision or we don't always see the person if they're not the loudest in the room, the funniest in the room.
Correct.
Guess what? I don't want that guy.
No, I definitely don't want that noise. No. Yeah.
I want the guy who's building, who's working, who's like, I'm planning for my future.
That's so attractive. I find that so attractive.
For me, that's like top quality. And somebody like, I was saying this earlier, I was like, discipline is one of the sexiest traits in a man.
Because it's hard to be, especially in Dubai, like it's very hard to be disciplined. Like there's so much. And selective. Exactly. So I think if you've got that trait and you stick to it, of course it's attractive for sure.
I think it's funny, right? Like, so of the guys that I have dates on the next few days, right? I can categorize each of them. This is just off of like surface level of how I am perceiving them to be.
Really?
One of them could be like, I think he's a huge player, but I'll suss it
out
when I see him on Sunday.
But it's good that you haven't closed off to that. I would be like, this guy's not serious. I'm not wasting my time. And that's the,
Sorry, I got to drop another gem.
Tell me.
Okay. I hate these Facebook groups that are like, are we dating the same guy?
Oh,
have you seen
no,
this?
I'm not on Facebook.
Good, don't be, because it is such trash, number one.
So they put a picture of the guy?
Yes. And firstly, that's illegal.
Yeah, like, I was like, is that even allowed?
You
Working
know
with lawyers. Hello. I was like,
You can actually go to jail for it. So please get off this group. But anyway, with that being said, because I say this, let's say you and I go on a date with the same guy.
Okay.
He sees me as just a girl he can have fun with. He sees you as his wife. He's obviously going to treat the two of us way differently.
Correct. Yeah, that's true.
So you can't hold a guy or put him on a stake because it's like, oh, he did this to me. He ghosted me. He's the worst guy ever. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but guess what? That guy probably he didn't see something with you. Done. But then he sees you and he's like, oh my God, you're my queen. Oh my gosh, I am going to put her on a pedestal. I am going to do this, move mountains for this woman. So I think also we need to stop villainizing somebody who you didn't have a connection with.
It's okay.
So what?
Yeah,
Move
it's
on.
okay. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
So what?
Yeah,
Move
it's okay.
on.
And they're dating, so they will be dating. I mean,
It's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game. Yeah. Okay, right. I literally thought so much. I'm like, oh, dating might actually be okay.
It will be.
Dating
It's
in Dubai. I think
fine.
it's giving people hope on both sides, men and women,
Yes.
actually. That's quite interesting.
Please don't lose hope. I hate
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And like I say, like I want to solve dating in Dubai.
Yeah.
In the sense of, let's bring some positivity. Let's
You're
shed
right.
light on the people who are actually seeking connection.
Yeah, yeah.
And also, just because you don't have a connection with one person or even 5 or 10 doesn't mean you're
matter.
never going to find that connection.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for the
Yes.
launch. I'm
Thank you
excited
so
about the
much.
great things you're doing. Like and also so purpose-led, like it's
Yes.
intentional and you're actually helping people meet and make connections.
That's
so it's
it.
fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming and joining Let's Talk DXB.
Yes.
Let's Talk DXB. Real conversations by real people.